The vault was already empty when the alarm went off. And that single detail destroyed everything people thought they understood about crime. Because alarms don't mean theft, they mean distraction. And while the city panicked over flashing red lights and screaming sirens, the real heist was still breathing quietly, unseen, unfinished. News helicopters circled the skyscraper before the police even arrived. Anchors confidently announcing an attempted robbery, experts debating security flaws, and viewers settling into the comfortable belief that danger had been stopped, not realizing that comfort was the product we were selling. Because 3 days earlier the plan had already locked itself into place the moment the billionaire stood on a marble stage and announced his annual charity gala, smiling as cameras flashed, promising transparency, generosity, and hope, not knowing that hope is the most exploitable emotion of all. Everyone assumes a heist begins with force, but force attracts attention, and attention is fatal. We began with observation, patience, and math. Studying how wealth actually moves in a world where vaults are props and ownership is a sentence buried in legal language, where the most powerful doors are opened with consent rather than keys. The crew didn't look like criminals because criminals are remembered. They explained themselves as workers, helpers, professionals that cater, who memorized floor plans without trying. The sound technician who understood that applause can erase reality. The compliance officer whose job was to prevent fraud, but whose weakness was recognition. And me, the one who realized early that the vote wasn't the target. The gala wasn't the event. And the billionaire wasn't the victim, he was the mechanism. On the night of the gala, the city dressed up for television, lights reflecting off glass towers. Guests arriving in expensive silence, security tightening everywhere it shouldn't, while leaving open exactly what we needed. Because systems protect what they're told is valuable, not what actually is. Cameras followed the billionaire as he shook hands, laughed, spoke about sacrifice, while the caterer adjusted trays near a service corridor. No one ever monitored because no one imagines theft comes from the kitchen. The orchestra played, the audience applauded, and the sound technician subtly adjusted the audio mix, lowering ambient noise frequencies until certain words would disappear into clapping hands, like they were never spoken at all. This mattered because timing is language, and language is ownership. The first alarm triggered unexpectedly, not a mistake, but a feature caused by a deliberate contradiction in the system. A vault reporting a breach while simultaneously reporting zero contents, a condition security had never trained for. Because why would they? And in that confusion, protocols collapsed inward. Guards rerouted, cameras refocused, and attention tunneled exactly where it didn't belong. While guards sprinted underground, the billionaire took the stage above them, his voice echoing through a hall full of belief, talking about giving back, about responsibility, about legacy, each word softening, resistance because generosity disarms, skepticism faster than violence ever could. 5 rows from the stage sat the compliance officer, hands shaking slightly, tablet glowing with documents prepared weeks in advance. Documents written in the billionaire's own legal voice, pre-approved frameworks designed to accelerate philanthropy, requiring only a ceremonial confirmation to become binding. No hacking, no forgery, no coercion, just permission. Requested at the moment, applause was loudest. The sound technician leaned into the mic and whispered a sentence that should have mattered but didn't. Because applause swallowed it whole, and in that same breath the caterer spilled a tray behind the stage, forcing staff movement, clearing a sight line, creating a human blind spot that lasted exactly 12 seconds, just long enough for the billionaire to smile, nod, and authorize what he believed was a donation but was actually a transfer of control disguised by benevolence. Ownership changed hands silently, legally, permanently, and the vault alarm kept screaming, ensuring no one looked up. The audience stood, clapping, some crying, believing they were witnessing generosity in real time, while headlines auto-generated themselves, praise pre-written before reality caught up. And the police finally declared the breach neutralized, the vault untouched, the threat imaginary. That was the moment the heist technically completed, though no one noticed, because completion without spectacle looks like nothing happened at all. The billionaire continued smiling through interviews, proud of his contribution, unaware that the trust he'd empowered now controlled every asset he once commanded, that his empire had shifted ownership not with theft but with applause, not with fear but with gratitude. We didn't run, because running implies guilt. Instead, we left separately, slowly, like professionals ending a shift, blending into traffic, into crowds, into a... The final scene didn't happen in a penthouse or aboard a private jet. but in a fluorescent-lit diner miles from downtown, where the crew sat in silence watching the replay on a small television, listening to commentators praise security efficiency, celebrate generosity, and reassure the public that everything worked exactly as it should. No smiles, no toasts, because celebration invites memory, and memory is dangerous. Somewhere downtown, the billionaire slept, peacefully believing himself intact, believing wealth is something you hold, rather than something that holds you, never realizing that the most successful heist in history did. T steal money didn't. T trip a single real alarm didn't. T leave fingerprints or suspects because the perfect crime doesn't T break in it, gets invited. It doesn't T fight. The system it uses it. And it doesn't T end with escape but with applause fading into silence, as the world congratulates itself for stopping a crime that never existed. While the real theft, invisible and irreversible, becomes permanent history. The moment no one thinks to question it. And if this story kept you watching, if it made you question what is real and what is just carefully designed noise, then you already know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the next story will be darker, smarter, and even harder to escape. This is a world where nothing is stolen by force and everything is taken by design, where nightmares don't chase truth. Wait for you to stop paying attention. Nexus of Nightmares, signing out.